All right, welcome back. This is SuperFang99 with our Edge of the Earth campaign playthrough. In the last episode, we set up Scenario 1, Ice and Death Part 1, and now we will begin. Let's start with the agenda. Agenda 1A, Cold Welcome. This isn't exactly how you imagined your first foray into the Antarctic wilds. The stinging cold and lashing frozen winds will only get worse over time. Forced, after a location is entered by the investigator for the first time, put into play each set-aside location connected to that location. Use the map in the campaign guide for reference. 4 Doom Threshold. And our act. Search for a campsite. You're going to have to find a way back to camp, and soon. Or you'll have to make do camping in the wilds. As an action, if each investigator is at the same location and that location has no clues on it, resign. You set up camp. Each investigator resigns. Objective, find somewhere safe to set up camp. If each undefeated investigator has resigned, advance. The higher the shelter value of the location they resigned at, the better. We are playing on standard difficulty. So here's our scenario reference card. We have 2 skulls in the bag, where a skull is minus X. X is half the shelter value of your location, rounded up. Cultist is -2. If you fail, shuffle the top card of the Take a Lily deck into your deck without looking at it. If you cannot, take a horror. And we have 2 cultists, which is -3. For each point you fail by, discard the top card of your deck. Draw each weakness discarded by this effect. And we are beginning on the crash site. It was risky business, sailing over the Antarctic in a single aeroplane without any line of bases. All right. 2 shroud, 0 clues. As an action, test book or foot 3 to scavenge from the wreckage. If you succeed, in the supplies recovered section of the campaign log, record spare parts. Max 1 success per game. And it has shelter 0. All right, and the game is beginning, which means that if you missed this in the previous scenario, Monterey needs to discard the top 5 cards of their deck, shuffling each discarded weakness into his deck. So, hopefully you can see these over here. First card, Lucky Cigarette Case. Kind of sad about that. Slip Away. I guess that's okay. Other lockpicks. That's also very sad. Nimble. And Elusive. Well, that could have gone better, I guess. All right. I think we'll have Lily go first. She will play the Arcane Initiate for 1 resource. Of course, she enters with a Doom. And she will search the top 3 cards of her deck for a spell. That's not a spell. That's a spell. And that's also a spell. I think she'll take the cheap spell, though. Scrying. Adds it to her hand, shuffles her deck. I apologize. I'm going to be shuffling this deck a lot. It's going to get very tiresome. Oh, and of course, the Arcane Initiate would be exhausted from that. As her last 2 actions, she will spend the rest of her 4 resources to play a Dragon Pull and to play a Scrying. Scrying comes with 3 charges, which I will most likely never use. All right, and that's Lily's turn. Monterey. Should we start with this? I think we'll start with Jeremiah, actually. Yeah, let's start with Jeremiah. So he's going to play Jeremiah for 4 resources. And he's going to name even. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Emergency Catch is even. Trusty Bullwhip is even. Perception is not. Pilfer is even. That was a very good Jeremiah pull right there. All right, shuffling their deck. All right. For his last two actions, he will play an emergency cash and use the money that he just got to play lockpicks. All right, that's Monterey's turn. No enemies, so we go to upkeep. Lily would draw a machete, which is useless. Well, not useless, I guess. If Lily somehow loses her Dragon Pole. And Monterey will draw Leo. A little late, but he eventually could replace Jeremiah. All right, we go to Mythos phase. We place 1 Doom on the agenda. There's a total of 2 Doom in play out of 4. And now we draw encounter cards. Lily's encounter card. Dark Aurora. Revelation tests 3 willpower. For each frost token revealed during this test, take a horror. If you fail, take 2 horror. I'm actually okay with failing this because I want the Arcane Initiate to die at some point. But during the skill test, I'm going to use a free triggered ability to activate our Arcane Initiate first. So for another spell, it's not a spell, and I was hoping to draw that. I'm a little disappointed in that. So no spells there. All right, and now she's going to test 3 willpower. Yeah, I could use the guts to try and cycle it. No, I think it's just better to have Arcane Initiate potentially die. She's testing 3 to 3. Because again, she has the combat discipline, the prescience of fate. She will draw a tablet. That is a little unfortunate. The tablet, of course, is a -3. And we discard cards for each point I failed by, which is 3. So I discarded a Fearless. I discarded a Talisman of Protection. That is a little sad. And discarded a Holy Rosary. And of course, since we failed, we take 2 Horror. I think, actually, I'm not ready for the Arcane Initiate to die just yet. Because I wanted to get some more use out of her. So I put 1 Horror on the Initiate and 1 Horror on Lily. All right, and Monterey's card. Polar Mirage. Attached to the nearest location with at least 1 clue, and without a copy of Polar Mirage attached. After you discover or take control, forced, after you discover or take control of 1 or more clues at attached location, discard each non-weakness card in your hand. Discard Polar Mirage. Joke's on you, game. There are no locations with clues on them, so this cannot attach, and it gets discarded. That was super lucky. All right, and now it is our turns. Lily will most likely be either drawing for spells or exploring. So let's start with some draw. She will draw a card as her first action. It's an emergency cash. All right, she won't have the money to play a spell even if she got it, so she will begin looking around. I think she will go to the Treacherous Path. In order to recover the arcane slate vein in which he had found the odd markings, he would have to make a long sledge trip from these foothills to the steep slopes of the gigantic mountains themselves. It has 2 Shroud and 2 Clues. Forced, after you reveal 1 or more Frost tokens during the skill test at Treacherous Path, take 1 damage or horror for each Frost token revealed, and it has Shelter 1. And of course, we need to bring in some more locations. I believe it is just the hash mark because the circle, the diamond, and the heart are already in play. So let me go find that. Rocky Crags. I believe it goes like this. Yep. And of course there are 2 clues here. So she drew a card. She moved. She will play an emergency cash and gain 3 resources. All right, Monterey's turn. he is going to first try and test the crash site action. He'd be at 5-3. Or, oh yeah, 5-3 in both circumstances. I don't think I need this Leo right now. I know this is a little it's not very good, but he's going to test book, and so he's going to commit Leo to Luca. He has 4 plus 5 plus 1 from Jeremiah plus the 1 from Leo, makes him 6-3, and that will cover the tablet, of course. He drew a -4. I'm very sad. All right, it does say max 1 per success per campaign, so he can still go again. He'll just try 5-3, -2 or better. He drew a -1. So, in the supplies recovered, we record spare parts. Supplies recovered. Spare parts. All right, and his last action will be to move to Lily. All right, there are no enemies, so we go straight to upkeep. Lily will draw another machete, which is not very good right now. And of course, your condition will ready, and she will get a resource. Monterey will draw a scout ahead. Could be good, could be good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And he will get, oh, that's right. At the end of his turn, he could have done his thing. I will use him to gain a resource, and then of course he will gain a resource during upkeep to go to 4. All right, we added Doom to the agenda during the Mythos phase. We have a total of 3 of 4. I'm hoping we do not draw an Ancient Evils. Polar Vortex, attached to your location. When you end your turn at attached location, each card you control with health, including your investigator, takes 1 direct damage. Force, at the end of the round, discard Polar Vortex. We need to get away from here, because that will damage our partners. And Monterey will get Whiteout, another thing attached to your location. Each investigator at attached location gets -1 to all of their stats. Forced, at the end of the round, discard Whiteout. Okay. I really want Lily to find a spell to play, so she will spin her Arcane Initiate. 1, 2, 3. That's a spell. All right, so hopefully we'll be able to get set up with this Dragon Pole. All right, and of course, that was a free triggered ability, and there was a free triggered ability, player window, at the end of the Mythos phase, but before the investigation phase. So now we can begin, we can determine who goes next. First, I think I will start with Monterey, because I want to get out the Archive of Conduits. So I'm going to play the Archive of Conduits, that carries a hand slot, for 2 resources. And it says, as an additional cost to play this event, place a resource on 4 different locations as ley lines. So I'm going to put the 4 here. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't want to put on the crash site since there's no clues there. It's not even worth it to investigate. As a reaction, if you successfully investigate a location with a ley line, exhaust this asset. Move that ley line onto this asset. Then, if there are 4 ley lines on it, discard it. Take its ley lines, its resources, and record in your campaign log that you have identified the gateway. We want to do that. And we will. Let's start with investigation using lockpicks. This is my second action, and we're going to commit the deduction. So we have 4, 5, 6, plus his agility is 5. He has 11 to 2 to hopefully get 2 clues. Oh, he has -2, actually, so 9 to 2 because of whiteout. You drew a Frost. Wow. So after you reveal one or more Frost, take a damage or a horror. He will take a damage and put it on Jeremiah Kirby. And that's a -1. So now he has 8 to 2. -1. We succeed by 3. By 5. 7 to 2. All right. And the Frost goes back. We get 2 clues because of deduction. And we can exhaust the Archive of Conduits to grab this ley line. That was his second action. I should have read Rocky Crag because, as an additional cost for you to enter this location, investigators at your location must spend 2 clues as a group, rising perpendicularly to a height of 200 feet, like the rocky cliffs of Quebec, and marking the end of southward navigation. Last action for Monterey will be to move to the Rocky Crag, spending 2 of his clues. Flipping it over. 3 Shroud, 4 clues. Forced, when a treachery is attached to Rocky Crags, that treachery gains Surge, max, once per phase, and it has Shelter 3. And we need some more locations. Namely, we need the Hourglass, the Moon, and the Plus. Okay. Hourglass, Moon, Plus, and the Hourglass. Okay, so looking at the map, the crystalline goes here. Oh, it's connected to here and something over there. The barrier camp goes here. And the frigid cave goes... Oh, Lord. I need some more room with all this. I'll just put this over here, I guess. Those are connected. I actually wish I had location connectors. I don't. That's a little sad. So these are connected like this. And of course, it has 4 clues. Cool. Lily, your turn. You're going to move to join Monterey at the Rocky Crags. You're going to play an Azure Flame, taking up your second spell slot. Costs 3 resources. And it comes with 4 charges. And your last action, I think, is going to play this Drawn to the Flame, because maybe we could find a way to kill the Arcane Initiate. So, we draw a card. Ancient Evils. Well, that's what I get. Yeah, okay. So we place a Doom, causing you to advance, specifically because Ancient Evils said the agenda can advance from that effect. Under the ice. Hold on, come see this, one of the other members shouts as you trudge ahead through the snow. You turn back and examine what they have found, a second set of tracks in the snow, but smaller, misshapen, almost impossibly so. What in the hell could have made these tracks? One of your party asks. You stand dumbfounded. Very little wildlife exists out here in the frozen wastes, and these tracks match nothing you've ever seen before, nothing you can even imagine. You don't have to question what could make such tracks for long. A shape emerges from the erupting snow, twisted and deformed, like a splotch of ink spilled upon the canvas of reality. It makes a strange, almost familiar cry that is eaten by the howling wind. Lee! Lee! Then, with terrifying speed, it rushes towards you. Spawn a set-aside skittering nonsense at the lead investigator's location. Shovel the remainder of the set-aside skittering nonsense enemies and the set-aside creatures in the ice encounter set into the encounter deck. Jesus. All right, so we spawn a skittering nonsense at the lead investigator's location, so it will be with Lily, because I want her to kill it. Oh, but this is our last action. Yeah, she can take the soak, I think. And then we shuffle the rest and the creatures in the ice into the encounter deck. Without the discard pile. Okay, so that will be the end of her turn, but she will at least get 2 clues. I think my plan is to eventually get to the barrier camp. It requires 8 clues to get there, so we'll need to gather clues from other places before we can get there. All right. And this goes away. All right, it is the enemy phase. The skittering nonsense attacks us for 1 and 1. I think she will just take it. Now that the Arcane Initiate is free of her doom, might as well keep her around. All right, so now we go to upkeep. Let's ready everything. Lily will draw a scrying and a resource. Monterey will draw another pilfer and a resource. Oh, Monterey moved again, so I'll just have him get a resource. At the end of the round, these 2 are going to get discarded. That's actually very good. I really hate Polar Vortex. Or not hate, but, you know. I should read the new agenda. Into the white. Something dwells beneath the ice. Something you've never seen or heard of before. Not even in William Dyer's horrifying report. Something unreal. Forced. After a location is entered for the same thing. 7 Dune Threshold. And we draw encounter cards. So Lily will get an Ice Shaft. Test 3 agility. For each frost token revealed during this test, take a damage. If you fail, take 2 damage. Let's see, does she have any agility commits? No. Does Monterey? Most definitely. But 2 damage. I think she's okay with taking 2 damage. I say that warily. Might as well spin the Arcane Initiate. Neither of these are spells, but I did dodge the weaknesses. That's pretty nice. All right, and now she tests 3 agility. She has 3 to 3. -1. So she fails, she takes 2 damage. She's currently at 3 damage. A little rough, but could be worse. Monterey will draw. Oops. Through the Ice. Attach to the nearest location without a copy of Through the Ice attached. As an additional cost for you to enter or leave attached location, except by scenario card effects, test 2 agility. If you fail, cancel the effects of the move, take a damage and a horror, and discard Through the Ice. So that's our location, of course. I just remembered I should have gotten 2 of these clues. And there should be 2 left. Okay. Oh, when a treachery is attached to rocky crags, that treachery gains surge. Wow. Okay, Monterey. Dark Aurora. That's very bad. Taking 2 horror, huh? Could be worse. He has Professor William Dyer. Oh, and I should have actually given them their supplies. He has 3 secrets. So he could heal it up. So let's just take it. 1 to 3. I just really hope I don't draw a cultist or a tablet. Auto fail. Well, I got it. I'm glad I didn't commit anything. We take 2 horror. It could be worse. Like, it's not running remains where we'll take 3 horror. And that's done. Okay, I think we should get these clues and leave. Actually, let's have Lily go first, because she could potentially break through the ice by failing, of course. So, she's first going to attack. She is attacking with her dragon pole. She has 4, 5, 6, 7 to 2. Pretty good. Frost, 6 to 2. Skull. Skull is half shelter rounded up. Her shelter is 3 rounded up. Half is 1.5, 2. -3 total. She passes. All right. The Skittering Nonsense is dead. When you defeat Skittering Nonsense, shuffle the top card of the Tekalili deck into your deck without looking at it. If you cannot, Skittering Nonsense attacks you. All right. And now we get to the really... Where is it? There it is. It's a really cumbersome part. I'm playing this with nice multicolored sleeves. I'm going to make sure I don't see what this is as I sleeve it. All right, this can go back in here. Okay, I'll be needing those later, so come on. All right, let's shuffle this in. All right, that was her first action. I think she will... Yeah. She's going to play another Scrying. She has an additional Arcane slot from the Dragon Pole. Costs 2 resources. Comes with 3 charges. Last action, she's going to try to move back to the Treacherous Path. She must test Agility 2. She has 3 agility. Cultist. -2 if you fail. Shuffle the top card. Okay, first. This happens first. And we do fail. Oh, okay, that's a little bit disappointing. I was hoping not to draw one of those, but it is what it is. Okay, so first of all, it cancels the effects of the move. Then, take a damage and a horror. We will kill the Arcane Initiate. Your service has been done. And we discard this. And then we shuffle the top card of the Tekalili into Lily's deck. Tekalili. So I get another sleeve. This is going to get really annoying really fast. I should probably just sleeve these in purple since Lily's been getting the most of them. All right, and that will be Lily's turn. So it will be Monterey's turn. I imagine she's going to start investigating. You could pilfer this. No, we need to save pilfer for the end. FYI, I have played this scenario before, only once, and it was a very good time. I'm deliberately trying to avoid places I've already been, just to find some new places. And also, well, I'll save that to the end to avoid spoilers on the outcome of the scenario for us. Okay. That's not the right way. All right, that was Lily's turn. Monterey. Monterey is going to investigate using his lockpicks. He has 4, 5, plus 5 is 10 to 3. Tablet, that's a -3. So he is 7 to 3. He succeeds by 4. And he gets a clue. He can also exhaust the Archive of Conduits to grab this ley line. He's then going to investigate normally 5 to 3. Does he want to commit anything? No. It's going to be 5 to 3. -2. He succeeds by 0. Thankfully, he was not using his lockpicks. Last action, he's going to play Scout Ahead. Move up to 3 times. He's going to move to the frozen shores. There, now stretched off to the east, the low white line of the great ice barrier. 2 shroud, 2 clues. Frozen shores gets +2 shroud if an encounter card is attached to it. The sun never quite sets over the horizon, past the icy shoreline, painting the sky a myriad tapestry of beautiful colors. Shelter 2. All right, this is where it's going to get a little messy, because I also need to get the square location, which is the broad snowdrifts. It costs 2 clues to enter here. All right, let's move this a little bit this way. Broad snowdrifts is right underneath. Come on. All right, he's here and has 2 clues. That was his last action, but since he is 1, 2, 3. Actually, sorry, that only took 2 moves, but whatever. He is 2 locations away, so he will get to draw a card and gain a resource. He will draw a deduction. Very good. And will gain a resource. And now it is upkeep. There are no enemies. So, for Lily, she will draw an Overpower and get a resource. For Monterey, you will draw a Slipaway and gain a resource. Check his hand size. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Good. Lily. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, we are 1 doom out of 7. I think we're making very good time. I say that now, jinxing myself. Lily will draw. Antarctic Wind. Attached to the nearest location without a copy of Antarctic Wind attached. Investigators at attached location cannot play cards or draw cards from their deck. Forced at the end of the round, discard Antarctic Wind. That will go onto the Rocky Crag, since that's where she was. She was there, right? Yeah. And it gains Surge, because it's at the Rocky Crags. Ice Shaft. Ooh, that's a little scary. She's taking a lot of damage, but what can she do? She has to test 3 to 3. I really hope that Monterey would be getting these, but guess not. -4. Wow. She fails by a lot. She takes 2 more damage. She's at 5 damage of 7. Ugh, it's a little sketch. What can you do? All right, and Monterey will draw a Paraphobia. Test Willpower X, where X is your location shelter value. Just 2? Willpower 2. If you fail, you must decide. Take a horror for each one you failed by. Place 2 clues on your location. Add 1 frost token to the chaos bag. Well, let's test it. Does he have any other willpower? No. He's Monterey Jack. He's 1 to 2. He could succeed. It's possible. You should be ready. -1. Definitely fails, and he fails by 2. Place 2 of your clues. Well, he does have a Pilfer, so we could easily get them back. I think he will do that. He'll place 2 clues on his location. A little unfortunate, but that's what happens. Okay, yeah, I have a plan. Let's start with Monterey Jack. He's going to play Pilfer. Costs 4. He's investigating with his agility with Pilfer. He has 5 agility. He's going to commit this trusty bullwhip. I don't see ourselves using this anytime soon. I'll commit. So that's 5 plus 3 is 8 to 2. Is that overkill? I could just commit the slip away. Yeah, let me commit the slip away instead. We're 6 to 2. Frost? Okay, he's 5 to 2. I was afraid of a Frost into -4, so we'll see. Skull. Skull is half shelter, rounded up, -1. So -2 total. We succeed. Oof. Scary. So we get 3 clues from the pilfer. And we'll exhaust Archive of Conduits to get that ley line. His second action will be to investigate with lockpicks. He has 10 to 2. As a tablet. So 7 to 2, he succeeds by 5. He gets the last clue. Very well done, Monterey. His last action will be to move to the precarious ice sheet, because those are connected. The ice sheet was very thin, with dark ground here and there visible. Force Shroud, 2 clues. As a reaction, when you draw Hazard Treachery while a precarious ice sheet, add a Frost token to the Chaos bag. Cancel that card's effects and discard it. Group limit once per round. It has Shelter 2. So, as of note, this is a reaction, so we don't need to do this, and probably I won't. And it has 2 clues. 1, 2. And we need the moon, which is the icy wastes. All right, that's Monterey's turn. At the end of his turn, he was 1 location away from where he was, so he will gain a resource. All right, Lily. She's going to move twice. 1, 2. These are connected. To join up with Monterey. Sure, let's scry. I rarely do this, but let's scry for the hell of it. So, spend a secret. What does this card do again? Look at the top 3 cards of any investigator's deck or the encounter deck. Return them. Oh, that's actually kind of sick. So 1, 2, 3. Oh my god, it's all enemies. Jesus. Oh my god. Okay, Monterey can evade this one. So yeah, I'm going to have it go Skittering Nonsense, Glacial Phantasm, Manifestation of Madness, so that Lily gets the 2 that she can easily... A 3 health enemy, huh? Oof. It'll be a bit rough, but I think that's how it has to go. That's... Well, I'm glad I scried. Oh, Jesus. And that was her last action. So now we upkeep. Lily will draw another Azure Flame. Not very useful. And a resource. These already. Monterey will first ready these. And we'll draw. Manual Dexterity. Very good for Pilfer. All right. We had a Doom to the agenda. Part of the new Mythos phase. It's 2 of 7. At the end of the round, before then, technically, this would get discarded. And we draw encounter cards. Of course, we know Lily's going to get this Skittering Nonsense. And Monterey's going to get this Glacial Phantasm. A little rough. Where are we going? Here. Okay, so let's have Monterey go first. He's going to evade this Glacial Phantasm. Yeah, he's 5 to 2. Wait, do I have a deduction in my hand? I do, yes. That would be 6. Frost. So now he's 4-2. Skull. His shelter is 2, so it's a -1. So we succeed. So the Glacial Phantasm will be evaded. And we will draw a card from the manual dexterity. No, we didn't. I didn't commit this. You're right. I did not commit this. I did not say I did. Fair enough. All right, so then we will investigate with his lockpicks. He's at 10-4. He will commit this deduction to go 11-4. Frost again. Jesus, I'm really good at doing this. 10-4. I don't think we can. Well, barring the auto fail, of course. I don't think we can fail this specifically by 2 either. -2 succeeds by 4. So he gets 2 clues from the deduction. This goes back to the bag, and that's it. And then he will also exhaust the Archive of Conduits to grab his last ley line, grabbing 4 resources because of it. 2, 3, 4, 5. And we have identified the gateway. Good job, Monterey. That is pretty sick. So Monterey. 10-5. The gateway. That will be very useful to upgrade into. That was his second action. His last action will be to move to the Icy Wastes. He's going to spend, because it requires 2 clues to go to the Icy Wastes, I should have mentioned that. He will spend Lily's clues. And 2 Shroud, 4 clues. Treat the modifier of the first Frost token revealed during each skill test at Icy Wastes as -3 instead of -1. Shelter 4. It's a little spooky, but I think we can manage. All right. And that is Monterey's turn. He did move, so I think he will... is it a card or a resource? What are his cards in his hand? He has the resources. I think he will use it to draw a card. Unexpected Courage. Okay. Now it's Lily's turn. Hopefully Lily can kill both of these enemies. I think she should be able to. So, let's first start with the Skittering Nonsense. Attacking with the Dragon Pole, she is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8-2. -1. She kills the Skittering Nonsense. Of course, having us draw a Tikalili, shuffling it into our deck. Okay. That was her first action. Second and third action, she's going to attack the other Phantasm. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Good. She's attacking it 8-4 twice. Oh, I should have, before I keep going, the Icy Waste, I should have also put into play the Icebreaker Landing and the Remnants of Lake's Camp, which goes over here. Icebreaker Landing is a little far. So the Icebreaker Landing requires 4 clues to enter, which we could do, but the Remnants of Lake's Camp and Barrier Camp, which they are connected to, require 8 clues, and that's where we want to go, because they have the better shelter. All right, Lily, 8-4. to -1. Her shelter is only 2. All right. Last action. Do it again. 8 to 4. Tablet. It's a -3. She'll succeed, killing it. Well done, Lily. That's at the timing window of that is at the end of the enemy phase, but it is dead. All right. Very well done, everybody. And now we go to upkeep. Lily gets a drawn to the flame. That could be very useful. And a resource. Monterey. Buried secrets. And a resource. That's okay. I don't think we were planning on moving this turn. Yeah, because we'll just spend some time getting clues. That's totally okay. All right, we are 3 of 7 on our Doom. And Lily's encounter card we know is the Manifestation of Madness. When Manifestation of Madness attacks you, shuffle the top 2 cards of the Tekka Lily deck into your deck without looking at them. For each card you cannot shuffle, Manifestation of Madness deals +1 damage and +1 horror for this attack. And Monterey, the first unknown card we have is Antarctic Wind. Investigators at attached location cannot play cards or draw cards from their deck. At the end of the round, discard Antarctic Wind. That's okay. Basically, we will miss a card during upkeep. I think that's okay. Yes, I think that is okay. All right. Let's start with Lily. Yeah, let's start with Lily. Let's attack the Manifestation of Madness. She is 8 to 3. -2, she succeeds, dealing 2 damage. Another one, 8 to 3. -1, she kills it. All right, she has one more action left. How many cards does she have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think she will move here because it's actually kind of okay for her not to draw cards from her deck because she has 2 Tekka Lily weaknesses in her deck so far. And she has enough cards. All right, Monterey. Let's have you start with activating your Buried Secrets. You are 5 to 2. That's a -3. He succeeds. Well done. All right, so is it worth it to pilfer here? No, I think it'll be worth it to pilfer at the place. Fast, just because we can. I'm going to spend 2 and play this trusty bullwhip in case he needs to deal some damage. That's fast, so he still has 2 actions left. He will first investigate with the lockpicks. And he is 10 to 2. Wait. Cannot play cards. Never mind. Okay. Get this back to your hand. 2 resources. That's okay. That is totally okay. All right. 10 to 2. -1, succeeds by a lot, gets a clue. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we'll need 8 clues. Did I do this right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 and then, so there's 14 total clues. Hold on. Let me start over. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. We should have 11 clues. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We did spend 4 of them. 2 here, 2 here. Okay, so we only need 1 more clue to get to the barrier camp. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, that makes sense. Cool. Yeah, Monterey. Let's go get some clues. 5 to 2. Skull. His shelter is 2, so that's a his shelter is 4, so it's a -2. He succeeds by 1 and gets a clue. All right, so we actually don't need the last clue on the icy wastes, and that's his turn anyway. So no enemies, so we upkeep. We do not draw cards because of the Antarctic cold, but we do gain resources, which I think are more valuable right now. At the end of the round, this will discard. And we put a Doom on the agenda. All right, Lily. Lily gets another Manifestation of Madness. Easily dealt with, I think. Monterey gets Kindred Mist. Attached to the nearest location without a copy of Kindred Mist attached. Forced, when one or more cards from the Lily deck would be shuffled into your deck while you are at attached location, draw them instead, placing them on the bottom of your deck instead of the bottom of the Lily deck. Discard Kindred Mist at the end of this round. So unfortunately, because the timing window or the timing point of that effect is when cards would be shuffled in, it doesn't get discarded at the end of the round. It only gets discarded after the technically cards get shuffled in, and the end of that round is when it gets discarded, I believe. Okay, so let us kill this Manifestation Madness and move to the barrier camp. We are 8 to 3. -1, deal 2 damage. And again, 8 to 3. Skull, that is a -2. Succeed again. Turns out Lily with the dragon, up and running dragon pull is pretty good. All right, she will move into the barrier camp, spending Monterey's 8 clues. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm sorry if I somehow lost spending clues somewhere, but I think I did that correctly. Our camp on the frozen shore below the volcano's slope was only a provisional one, headquarters being kept aboard the Arkham. 4 shroud, 6 clues. As an action, parlay, test willpower 4 to convince some of the other explorers here to give you something useful. If you succeed in your in the supplies recovered section of the campaign log, record Dynamite. I kind of want that. Shelter 7. I think that'll be our goal. 6 clues. All right, that was Lily's turn. Monterey. Oh, I think it's possible for Lily to get that willpower. Yeah, she has guts. He has unexpected courage. I think we can get some dynamite. All right, Monterey's going to move here. He's going to play Pilfer. Costs 4. He's going to commit this manual dexterity because it's an agility skill test. So he is 7 to 4. 7 to 4, huh? I think he's also going to commit the trusty bullwhip. I really want this to go. So 7 to 4 plus 3 is 10 to 4. Yeah, I really want this to go. -1. We succeed, getting 3 clues. And because of manual dexterity, we draw a card. Scout ahead. First action was move. Second action was to play the Pilfer. Last action will be to investigate with the lockpicks. Monterey has 10 to 4. 0. Gets another clue. All right, that is his turn. At the end of his turn, because he was one location away, he will be able to draw a card, gain a resource. He will draw a card. Elusive. And now we go to upkeep. No enemies. So Lily will get Burden of Destiny. I think she will flip this combat discipline. Ooh, that's a little tough, actually. Yeah. She's looking a little worse for wear. And she gets a resource. Monterey will get Research Librarian. I put him in the discard pile by accident, but this guy's pretty much useless. So that's why I did that. And the resource. All right, we are 5 of 7 Doom. Lily's encounter card. Polar Vortex. Ugh, we need to leave. Done this one before. We need to leave. Monterey's encounter card. Ancient Evils. Okay. I do know what happens when we advance this. So, we better be ready. All right. If you perform no skill test this round. I think that it's an action to resign, right? Yes, on the act it's an action. So I think Lily is going to take some time to just take a breather. Yeah. Do I try a Drawn to the Flame? I think I do. I'm going to play Drawn to the Flame and hope this isn't bad. Attach the nearest location with at least one clue. And without a copy of Polar Mirage attached. Ugh. Okay. So that's this location. Well, I'll read it in a sec. After you discover or take control of one or more clues at attached location, discard each non-weakness card in your hand. Discard Polar Mirage. That gets attached to our location. Then we discover 2 clues. That is unfortunate. So, after you discover or take control of one or more clues, we discard each non-weakness card in our hand. All right, that really sucks. But clues are clues. Okay, that was her first action. She then will move back to the Icy Waste, and she will draw a card as her last action. Oh, it's a Tech Lily. Take a horror. Okay, that's fine. She's at 3 horror now. And now I need to take this out and then put this back in. And this goes on the bottom of the deck. Oops. I need to find a better place to put this, I think. Okay. That is her turn. Monterey. This should be ready. Monterey is going to move back to Lily. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We could check out the Icebreaker Landing. Yeah, let's do that. So instead of moving, I'm going to pay a resource to play Scout Ahead. Move twice. 1, 2. I'm going to use Lily's clues as well as Monterey's. 4 clues total. 1. And reveal it. To shroud 4 clues. As an action parlay, test 4 book to search the trap ship for supplies. If you succeed, either remove a frost token from the chaos bag or record small radio in the supplies recovered section of the campaign log. Max 1 success per game. That should be relatively simple for Monterey. Sorry, wrong side. He has 1 action left, and I think he will do it. He has 5 to 4. I'm going to commit this Unexpected Courage to go 7 to 4. It is a 4, right? Yeah. 7 to 4. As an elder sign, if you started this round one or more locations away from your current location, gain a resource, draw a card. I will draw a card, sure. Backstab. And of course, we get the thing. I will record small radio because I think that's more interesting. All right, that is his turn, and because he is 2 locations away from where he was, he will draw a card, perception, and gain a resource. All right, no enemies. We upkeep. Lily gets an overpower. No, I'll put this here as her hand. And a resource. Monterey will get Leo DeLuca and a resource. At the end of the round, this goes away, Polar Vortex. And the agenda will advance. So we have 7 Doom in play. It dwells inside. These things, these manifestations, they're not beasts or even alien creatures like those Dyer and Danforth encountered in their last expedition. You're not even sure they are entities at all. They have no shape, consisting of an almost protoplasmic substance that seeps back into the ice when harmed or whenever you escape their clutches. Given the persistence of these entities and the inclement deadly conditions of Antarctica, you know you won't survive the night without finding shelter. Just as you are pondering what your next move should be, the ice beneath you rumbles with tremendous force, letting out a terrifying groan. An earthquake? One of your party asks over the raucous noise. No, that's impossible, another replies. You share a dreadful glance. Could it be one of those things? Spawn the set-aside Terror of the Stars enemy at the revealed location with the highest shelter value, which will be the barrier camp. Terror of the Stars. 4 fight, 3 health, 3 evade, monster Eidolon Elite. It's a hunter and massive. Terror of the Stars get plus 3 per investigator health, so it has 9 health. While Terror of the Stars is ready, investigators cannot resign at its location or discover clues at its location. And that will spawn at the barrier camp. The last agenda. Running out of time. The sun hangs low in the sky, but never sets. Your party is exhausted from the long, arduous day. Though the sky is never plunged into the dark of night, you know it's only a matter of time before you are forced to make camp. Forced, after a location is the same thing, and 7 Doom is left. Alright, I'm going to draw encounter cards. Lily will draw a Dark Aurora for each frost token reveal, blah, blah, blah. So she can take horror, I think that's okay. She's testing 3 to 3. Oh, sorry. At the end of the round, she didn't perform any skill tests, so this flips back. Zero. She succeeds. Well done, Lily. And Monterey's card. 0 visibility. As an additional cost for you to leave a location with a treachery attached to it, you must spend an action. Forced, at the end of your turn, test 2 agility. If you succeed, discard 0 visibility. So that's okay, but the problem is that there is a card attached here, and I was planning for him to get to the Terror of the Stars. So we'll need to think about how we get around that. There's no point in playing Leo. At least right now. Technically, I could play Leo. But... Oh, I could just elusive. Oh, no. Oh, I could elusive to the Rocky Cracks. That's a way to get around that. Wow. Yeah. Because then I was planning to evade. 5 to 3. It's not terrible. Yeah, let's do it. So as a fast, he's going to play elusive. Cost 2. Disengage from each enemy engaged with you and move to a revealed location with no enemies. That revealed location with no enemies is going to be the Rocky Crags. Alright, then his first actual action is going to be to move into the barrier camp. Terror of the Stars is massive, of course. He's going to try to evade. He's going to commit this Research Librarian to go 6 to 3. 6 to 3. -3. I'm glad I did that. He is evaded. Okay, I was planning to play Backstab, but I'd only be at 5 to 4, so I think I need to get some more cards. I will draw a card as my last action. It's a Nimble. And because he is 2 locations away, he'll be able to draw a card and gain a resource at the end of his turn. Another Backstab. I'm not sure about that. All right, that is Monterey's turn. Now it is Lily's turn. Lily will move into the barrier camp and start swinging. She used 8 to 4. Does she do that? Yeah, 8 to 4. Or I could try the parlay. Yeah, actually, let me do that. So move, she's going to use the Discipline Prescience of Fate. You get +5 skill value for the next skill test you perform this turn. And then after the skill test ends, we flip it over. So now we have 8 skill value with a willpower parlay against 4. So 8 to 4 for the parlay. I just noticed. Technically, there should be 4 clues here. I didn't get any of these clues. -2, she succeeds. So we get Dynamite. It seems good. And that is her turn. And then, of course, this flips over. All right, so the enemy phase, no ready enemies. Oh, we should have tested this. My apologies. We're 5 to 2. He succeeds with a -2. So this gets discarded. Enemy phase, no enemies. We upkeep. This thing, we're ready. Everything else, we're ready. Lily will draw a card, a Shriveling. Not very good. Gain a resource. Monterey will draw a card, a Perception. Also not very good. Getting a resource. Mythos phase, we get 1 Doom to the agenda. And Lily's encounter card is 0 visibility. That's okay, we're not leaving. Monterey's encounter card. Ice Shaft. He can take some damage, and also he's good at agility. He is 5 to 3. Elder Sign. Did nothing, but succeeds. Okay. Yep, I think that we're going to have Lily go first. It doesn't have Retaliate, so attacking with the Dragon Pole is 7 to 4. She will first commit this Overpower to go 9 to 4. Frost, so it's 8 to 4. -2, she succeeds. Dealing 2 damage. And drawing a card from the Overpower. Vicious Blow, that is amazing. Is it? Yeah, it is. Why not? Then she's going to attack with the Dragon Pole again, committing both the Shriveling and the Vicious Blow. So she should be at 7, +2 is 9 to 4 again. -4. She succeeds by 1. She deals 3 damage. It has 4 remaining health. She's going to attack one last time. Yeah. 7 to 4. -1. Only 2 more damage. All right, it has 2 health left. Let's hope that Monterey can land this backstab. He will spend 3. To play this backstab. He is fighting at 5 to 4. He will commit this nimble to go 6 to 4. He will commit this other backstab to go 7 to 4. And that is all we can do. 7 to 4. That is a -3. I'm glad I committed everything that I could, because that succeeds exactly by 0. That deals 3 damage, killing the Terror of the Stars. Goes into victory display, which will be over here. And Monterey's second action will be to resign. We are all here, and there are no clues here. All right. Under the stars. Exhausted and terrified by your ordeal, you decide this is as good a place as any to make camp for the night. Perhaps tomorrow you can salvage some kind of academic value out of this hellish journey. But for now, such things seem trivial. Survival is the only thing on your mind. Resolution 1. Awesome. All right. I am super excited to see where this goes. So let's read it. As you make camp, you are haunted by memories of the creatures you encountered in the icy wilds. Such entities should not exist. Not even Dyer's report mentions anything of the kind. Grim silence settles over the expedition team as you set up shelter. No one speaks of what they saw in those frozen wilderness. No one speaks of the awful sounds those monsters make. You can only hope that this camp is secluded enough to avoid the attention of those things, whatever they may be. In your campaign log, write camp, whatever. And next to it, record the name of the location the investigators resigned at. This location is referred to as the investigators' camp for the remainder of Ice and Death. Record the camp's shelter value in parentheses next to its name. All right, so we have camp, the barrier camp. Camp. Barrier camp. 7 shelter. Each investigator earns experience equal to the camp's shelter value, to a minimum of 3, plus the victory X value of each card in the victory display. So that's 7 plus 1 from this guy. So we get 8 total. Nice. In the expedition team section of the campaign log, record the amount of damage and horror on each partner asset in play. That's nothing. Proceed to checkpoint 1, the disappearance. Do not clean up the game yet. Your sleep is anything but pleasant. The maddening cold bites at your flesh, and the ever-howling wind plays tricks on your mind, conjuring images of misshapen inky forms bursting out of the ground and rending your party whole. Just as you are finally beginning to leave such horrid thoughts behind, your rest is shattered by a startled cry. You awaken to find your camp in shambles and several of your companions missing. To your dismay, footsteps lead away from the relative safety of your camp and into the frozen wilds beyond. Find and gather the story assets corresponding to the surviving members of the expedition team. Shuffle them and randomly select a number of them equal to your camp's shelter value. Those characters are safe. All right, so we need to get Avery and Dyer here, as well as the other 6 people. Ellsworth, of course, is dead. All right, and we grab 7 of them to be safe. So I'm going to grab one of them who is not going to be safe. All right. Who disappeared? It's gonna be William Dyer, the professor. No. Oh no. Well. So, Professor William Dyer went missing in the night. In the expedition team section of the campaign log, write MIA next to the name of each character who went missing. All right. So here are regular people. William Dyer is MIA. William Dyer. MIA. The investigators must decide. Choose one. They're on their own. You will skip the next part of the scenario. Proceed to the disappearance 2. Go after the missing team members. You will play the next part of the scenario. Skip to disappearance 3 if you wish to do so immediately, or the disappearance 4 if you wish to take a break and proceed to the next time you play. We're gonna go after the professor. And just because we're gonna keep this setup, we're gonna go to disappearance 3. You decided to go after your missing team members. Do not remove any locations from play. All tokens on those locations are removed, and all cards at these locations are discarded as normal. Reset each investigator's deck and the encounter deck. Proceed to Ice and Death Part 2. All right, that is this scenario done. It went very well, I think. I think that was the best we could do other than going here. I should mention that when I said that I played this before, we went to the Crystalline Cavern my first time, and it had a shelter value of, spoilers, high enough to save everyone, let's say. And so we didn't even get a chance to play the second scenario. So I'm very glad I was able to find a shelter 7, has the most amount of XP while still being able to play the next scenario. So that is that. I will be doing upgrades and setup for the next scenario in the next video. Until then, please, if you like this, please like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you next time. This has been SuperVang99 signing off.